Hey everyone, it's Michelle. I've realized that I have not filmed a skin update for you all since last year, so that is definitely overdue, and that's what we're going to talk about today. Quite a number of things have happened since, especially if you watched my previous video that I got the CO2 Fraxel Laser for my old acne scars. I have been using the 0.1% Tretinoin Retin-A Micro for about over a year now. I've been using Aczone for just about 2 years. I only took Spironolactone for 6 months and discontinued it, so there's quite a bit of things I want to touch upon in this video. Before we get into that, if you are new to my channel, hello again, my name is Michelle. I'm 30 years old, about to be 31 in this month, and it's been only in recent times that I've been able to get control over my acne. I've suffered with some type of acne since my preteens, and now that my face has been fairly clear, I am able to pursue acne scar revision. So for further context as to what I'm talking about this video, I highly recommend you check out my previous skin updates. I have experienced professional microneedling. I've also done at-home microneedling in the past. And I've not only used 0.1% Tretinoin, I've used 0.04% Tretinoin, and before that I used 0.3% adapalene, before that 0.1% adapalene. So I've been on this clear skin journey, sharing it on YouTube since 2018. So if you want further context again for this video, I highly suggest you check out that playlist. Now back to this update. So I've been using these prescriptions for quite some time, vitamin A in general, same with Dapsone. So I feel like there may be some redundant things I'm saying in this video, but I do want to share my overall thoughts on them. I want to give more information about Spironolactone, my experience, why I discontinued it. And I'm actually just going to quickly touch upon the CO2 Fraxel Laser first, since I did film a video fairly recently about my experience during my first session. All right, having said that, let's get into this skin update. So I'm going to start off with the CO2 Fraxel Laser. I'm going to be quick about this because I did do a more in-depth video previously, which I will link up in the cards for you all to check out if you're interested. But basically after that first session of CO2 Fraxel Laser, and mind you, that was a very strong setting, I feel like I've seen such a significant improvement in my skin texture, better than what I saw after the 3 sessions of professional microneedling. Now the microneedling did make a difference, it did make my skin smoother, but one session of Fraxel Laser was pretty intense, and it does take a while to see the full result from Fraxel Laser. You do need to wait a few months and have a few sessions of that as well, but the one session alone left me pretty impressed. I just finished my second session a couple of weeks ago. That's why my face may still be a little red right now. The dermatologist said he saw a difference, and I most definitely did as well. My skin just overall looks way more refined and more smooth, or I think it does anyways. Same with my neck. I also got Fraxel Laser on my neck, and I do feel like the texture here has been looking really nice as well. Again, I don't want to touch upon it too much in this video because I have like a half-hour video that I previously filmed, so be sure to check that one out. So that is it for the CO2 Fraxel Laser, my scarring, what I've been doing for that. Now moving on to my final thoughts about Retin-A Micro, Tretinoin in general, as well as Aczone, which is 5% Dapsone. The first point I want to stress about Tretinoin in general is that it really is a powerful molecule. Recall back to one of my previous skin updates, and I switched from 0.3% adapalene to 0.04% Tretinoin. That switch alone, I noticed a notable difference in my skin's quality. My skin texture looked a lot more refined, my pores looked visibly smaller, and there was one breakout I had right here on my cheeks for a couple of months that was not going away. It wasn't until I started using the 0.04 Tretinoin only twice a week that it finally cleared up. Another main point I want to state about Tretinoin, vitamin A in general, is that slow and steady wins the race. You absolutely cannot rush the process with using Tretinoin. You will go through a retinization period. Your skin's going to feel super sensitive, irritated. I've been going through this on and off retinization process since 2018 because I keep bumping up the prescription, and I essentially had to recurate my skincare routine to accommodate this prescription. So really gentle products and making this the superstar of my skincare routine. With 0.1% tretinoin in particular, which is the highest strength you can get, my skin was constantly flushing in my nighttime skincare routine when I was using this on a nightly basis, even after 6 months of use. So I finally decided that every night with this strong of a strength is not for me. I reduced it to every other night to start, and my skin improved significantly. I no longer experienced intense flushing where, you know, that flushing causes heat. It makes my texture look a bit more exaggerated. I don't have any of those problems anymore, and I don't find the need to heavily rely on soothing products. The final point I want to state about tretinoin, vitamin A in general, is that it is not the end all of acne and well aging. So I've been using prescription strength vitamin A consistently since 2018, and even before that, during my university days, I was using a custom vitamin A prescription, probably around 0.04% or 0.06%, somewhere along that strength. So let's say 8 years total of using vitamin A. I've also used sunscreen pretty consistently since I was 18. I've been using vitamin C serums pretty consistently since I was young as well, probably in my early 20s. Chemical exfoliants I've been using since I was in my teens as well. And I'm still seeing breakouts on my face. I'm still seeing wrinkling. Even with after the laser session, I still see some of it on my face. All of this is not an end all. You're just not going to be this porcelain baby doll of agelessness. It's just a natural part of living on this planet. I'm not saying by any means that this won't do anything. Like I've mentioned in previous skin updates and just now, I have noticed a significant improvement in my skin's overall quality since using tretinoin, vitamin A in general. But you do need to be realistic of what you're going to see with topical prescriptions alone. You're not going to be 100% smooth. You're not going to be 100% clear. You're always going to have some type of texture on your skin, which is normal. And the reason I've drawn this conclusion for myself, especially when it comes to acne, is because my acne truly was not under a very good state of control until I cleaned up my way of eating. I solved my digestive issues, which I've had for a decade. I have mentioned it in previous videos, but I've been eating keto. I've actually been eating high fat, low carb for about 2 years now, and I've never seen such significant results in my gut health. And because my gut health improved so much, I have seen it in my face. So I personally am a big believer that eating whole foods, eating well, definitely plays a factor in skin's health for me anyways, and the tretinoin and the dapsone was just the cherry on top to really help with that. That is it for my final thoughts on tretinoin, adapalene, vitamin A in general in skincare. Now I just want to quickly touch upon my final thoughts on my Aczone gel, which is 5% dapsone. Quick reminder, this is what I use to tackle any inflamed active acne on my face. The tretinoin is more so for prevention, but it does help with some of the inflamed acne as well. I've said this before, but I'm going to say it again. After using Aczone consistently in my skincare routine, especially for 2 years now, this is one of the best, most gentle acne treatments I have ever used. If there is any sort of acclimation period, it is maybe around a month or a couple of months max, and it's nowhere near as intense as, let's say, benzoyl peroxide. After using this in my skincare routine for 2 years, the first year and a half was day and night. Now I'm only using this as an on-need basis. It is super gentle. It layers really well in my skincare routine. I don't experience any pilling or dryness from Aczone. It also works really well with all the other actives that I use in my skincare routine, tretinoin being one of them, vitamin C, chemical exfoliants. This does not interfere with their performance. If I ever have an inflamed breakout, I just need to use this consistently for a few days. The pain goes away pretty quickly and the size of the breakout lowers a lot within the week. Thanks to the use of dapsone alongside the tretinoin and just how I curate my skincare routine to be gentle. Overall, these two products together in my skincare routine have definitely been game changers in helping to control my acne alongside the lifestyle changes I have done in the past couple of years. Last thing I want to talk about in this skin update is my 6-month use of Spironolactone and why I decided to discontinue it. For those of you that don't know, Spironolactone is an oral medication that's used as a diuretic, but when it comes to acne in particular, it helps to inhibit androgen production, which us with hormonal acne seem to be in excess of. So in my last skin update, I believe I was already 3 to 4 months in with using Spironolactone, and I talked about all of the side effects I got from using it. So if you are interested in the side effects that I got, be sure to check out my previous skin update. But long story short, had some side effects for the first few months, one of them being having my period for an entire month and such terrible dizziness that I almost passed out a handful of times. But once I got over that hill, I lowered the amount of tablets that I would take on a daily basis. I eventually found my sweet spot for taking Spironolactone. So for the next few months afterwards, my skin was super clear. I wouldn't even get any breakouts if I decided to indulge in junk food, pretty much processed food, potato chips, ice cream. While my skin was very clear, and that made me very happy, especially using alongside the 2 topical prescriptions, I couldn't help but be continually bothered by the fact that I was taking oral medication to help control my acne when I already established what foods do what for my skin, and I couldn't help but feel like I was kind of cheating myself. Basically, Spironolactone allowed me to be lazy and undisciplined, and even though I wasn't showing it in my face, I was feeling it down in my gut that I was getting some pains again and some irritation. So overall, I do need to eat better in general, or else I'm gonna be in pain after a meal. So for me and my health needs in general, I just needed to face the reality that I cannot rely on Spironolactone any longer. So that's why I decided to discontinue it and just, again, be more disciplined about what I eat, because it not only helps dramatically with my gut health, I also see that result in my face as well. I do have experience taking previous oral medications, birth control being one of them. I took Diane 35 and Yasmin in the past. I have also taken antibiotics, minocyclone, something like that. I had a really bad reaction to the minocyclone. I was actually getting blue, purple dots in my lips, so that was a sign I was losing pigmentation or something, which is one of the worst side effects for that antibiotic, so I discontinued that. When it came to birth control, I would say Diane 35, that was the last one I took. It was working pretty well, but again, I was going through intestinal issues during that time, so I decided to discontinue any oral medication at the time, and my acne came back full force, disgusting amounts of breakouts on my chin, not just cystic acne, it was like the ziti, poppable types of pimples everywhere on my chin, super gross. With my past experiences with oral medication when it comes to acne, and then taking Spironolactone, it just kind of hit me with the reality that they were huge band-aids, and the moment I discontinued them, whatever rooted problems I have were not going to get any better unless I did something about it. If I was younger still, in my early 20s, I may not care about this stuff because you don't feel it at that age. You don't feel a lot of things at that age. For me, it was taking antacids and drinking a lot when I get the Asian glow. Didn't feel any of that stuff until now. That's probably the reason for some of my digestive issues. But that aside, you don't feel certain things that you do in your 20s until you reach your 30s. Another thing that bothered me about taking this oral medication, especially now that I am in my 30s, is the fact that it messed around a bit with my hormones. Like I previously mentioned, I was spotting for around a month. Like, nobody wants to be bleeding for a month, so that really just put me off from continuing Spironolactone in general. Even though I did take it for half a year, it was still in the back of my mind that that happened, and it bothered me so much. And the thing is, I do want to start a family soon. I need my health in general to be intact. That's including my hormones, and obviously if I wanted to start having kids now, I was just told to discontinue the use of spironolactone. So that was just also another thing that I was keeping at the back of my brain, is that I couldn't continue taking this once I wanted to start a family, which I feel like maybe soon. And I just didn't like the fact that I knew it was a huge band-aid to the underlying issues that I personally had with my gut. All right, and that is it for this skin update. Apologies that it took so long to do. I discontinued spironolactone back in February, and that's when I wanted to film the latest skin update. But you know, life, I don't have any other excuse other than I just didn't feel like sitting down to talk about it. And so finally I kind of have my thoughts together and I was able to comfortably sit down and talk about all these things. So having said that, I hope this video was helpful. I know more than a handful of you follow these videos. You've messaged me on Instagram to ask questions about what I've been doing recently because you're going through similar things like myself. So I hope this video was helpful and it keeps you up to date as to what I've been doing to tackle my acne scarring, and just a tidbit into my life of my digestive health issues and me wanting to start a family soon. If you did enjoy this video, please be sure to give it a like, subscribe to my channel down below for future videos. Leave a comment if you have any questions, recommendations, or you want to share your thoughts about your experience with tretinoin, with dapsone, with spironolactone, or if you've been also noticing a connection with your gut health and your skin as well. I'd love to hear about it in the comment section down below. That is it for this video. See you all soon. Ciao.